Hare Krishna everyone, my name is Raja Vilasini Devidasi, and today I'd like to discuss with you some things about material life and material happiness and how that can be effective of your soul. So I've got a little example here. It's from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 2, Text 2, and it's from the purport. The conditioned soul is always engaged in laying out plans for happiness within the material world, even up to the end of our universal limit. He's not even satisfied with the available amenities on this earth, where he has exploited the resources of nature to the best of his ability. He wants to go to the moon or the planet Venus to exploit resources there. But the Lord has warned us about the worthlessness of all the innumerable planets in the universe, as well as those planets in other systems. None of them is immune to the chief miseries of material existence, namely the pangs of birth, the pangs of death, the pangs of old age, and the pangs of disease. So like chasing a dog chasing its tail, we can't buy happiness, no matter how much we try. So we might get a shiny car or something and think we're happy for a little bit, but very quickly that shine wears off. I've got an example for you. I work as a property manager during the day, and one of our clients told me that if he could purchase this property through us and if I could be his property manager forever, he'd be happy with that. Obviously, I'm not going to promise to be his property manager forever because anything could happen. Nothing's promised in this world. I could move on to a different job or a different field or a different office, or anything could happen. Anyway, he was convinced that that's what he wanted and that would make him happy. So he purchased the property for just over $800,000. Which is a lot because it was just over 12 months and the market wasn't so amazing back then, but he got what he wanted. And once it settled, he said, I'm really happy with the property, but I'd really like to do a few things to make me happy before I let another family live there. So to him that was replacing all the flooring and repainting to give it a fresh look. Because he said, if it was his family, he would want it to be nicer for them to live in. So I understood that, so I helped him get quotes, and we went through the whole process of getting it done, and it took 4 or 5 weeks, which is a long time for a property to be sitting there and not to be rented, so there's no one paying your mortgage, so to speak. And we got all of that done and the house looked amazing, and he said, I can't wait, I'm so happy, I can't wait. So we went to have a look at it together after everything was finished, and we were going to take photos so we could start advertising. So he walked in and the first thing he noticed was the ceiling fans now looked yellowed, which they probably were a little bit, and you couldn't really notice that when the paint wasn't so white and so new. So he wanted to replace all the ceiling fans and get LED lights throughout so it was all bright, which is lovely. I said, okay, so if we do that, when can we start advertising? He said, look, give it a week, I'll get it all done, we'll meet again, we'll take new photos of everything, and we'll all be happy. So I met a week later with him, and he's got trades outside and they're measuring up to put in a new pergola down one side of the house, a new paving along the back of the property, because that would make him happier to know that a family have a nice outdoor area. And it just went on and on. So it probably took about 9 weeks of this property being vacant. So he's paid an $800,000 mortgage, plus insurance and taxes and council rates and my fees, and no one's lived in this property yet. Plus he's also borrowed on top of that to do these renovations to make it so that he would be happy. Guess what? He's not happy. So he's saying, well, I'm not really happy with it. It's not what I would want, but then the next investment will be better. We've learnt from our mistakes with this one. So the next one we build, or renovate, we'll know exactly what to do differently. So purchasing nearly $1 million by the time he's finished everything, he's not happy with it. So nothing is, no amount of money is going to make him happy, because now he's also paying off a mortgage. So while he's got this house that he doesn't even live in, he does have some income, and he's looking at this as an investment, which is smart. So I'm not saying not to have an investment property, but what he's saying is that, at the moment it's not really doing much except pay off the mortgage, which is fine, that's what you want it to do. And then, later on when he's ready to retire, him and his wife can sell the property and they'll have that as their money for their retirement fund, which is great. But Now he's looking at next year buying another property. So it keeps going, doesn't it? So no matter what we get, the shine will wear off. So no one can avoid the pain of birth, death, old age, disease. It is what it is. It's like taxes, part of being in this material life. We make the same mistakes and choose not to listen or learn, and we live in this ignorant bliss that we call it. But all that means is that we're coming back again in the next life. So what can we do to rectify this? A few weeks ago we talked about the golden birdcage with the soul within. So if we nourish this soul that's within our body through Krishna consciousness, then we'll be truly happy and dedicate our lives, and eventually when we're dedicated enough, we'll go back home to Krishna. So I'd just like you to take a little bit of time this week, if you would, especially around the holiday season when we're making New Year's resolutions and looking at spending more and buying more and doing more. Is that really what's important to you, and is that going to nourish your life? I'd just like you to have a little think about that. So let me know your thoughts. I look very forward to serving you, and if you've got any questions, please let me know. My name is Vraja Vilasini Devidasi. Have a great week. Hare Krishna.